Construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway has begun amid a myriad of fiscal and due process concerns. But indifference is a response of President Bola Tinubu's administration to the challenges. The 700-kilometer stretch of road infrastructure, which will span 8 years to complete, will gulp a staggering 15 trillion naira. This figure is tentative given the country's inflationary spiral. The project might well have significant economic benefit for the country, but there are real questions involved, especially as regime spokespersons have repeatedly retreated the fact that our economy is bankrupt, of which there is no question. The pilot phase of the construction has started at the Eko Atlantic City and it will terminate at the Lekki Deep Seaport, for which 1.06 trillion has already been released. It is a highway of 10 lanes which will cost 4 billion per kilometer and will be the first of its kind in Africa, says the Minister of Works, Umahi. His zealousness in its implementation brooks no dissent, and sometimes it gets spiteful. The first set of victims whose properties were demolished to pave way for the construction were paid 2.75 billion naira in compensation last week. There are similar road network in the offing in the Sokoto-Badagry Coastal Highway and the Enugu-Abakaliki-Ogoja-Cameroon Highway in what seems like a geopolitical balancing act. As a spur, the latter will course through Otukpo in Benue State to Nasarawa State and end in Apo in Abuja. On the second project, Ms. Umahi said, "We have started the design and I'm sure that as soon as the Federal Executive Council approve it, we will be starting at the Sokoto soon. Given its 1,000 kilometer length, it will surely gulp over 20 trillion naira." The political ecosystem is already stirred on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, with the circumstances surrounding this award. Adherence to due process has been raised by some critics, causing waffling in official quarters. The point has to be made. The project did not go through a competitive bidding process, which is imperative for such a huge venture. In line with the 2007 Public Procurement Act, as initiated in Section 16, subsection I and D, to create transparency, accountability, and value for money. As the minister admitted, the award sidestepped the public tender competitive bidding process. This raised the question of how the cost was arrived at. Was it a favor to a friend of the administration, or is the government bidding forward to the transparency and accountability of public tender and competitive bidding process? In addition, why was the environmental and social impact assessment (ESIA) phase of the project not done before work began? We know this through a letter dated 18th April that emanated from the Ministry of Works, soliciting residents living in the Section 1 and 2 areas of the highway in Lagos to attend a workshop organized for a scoping study that would generate this all-important data after the project implementation had commenced. This action, the letter read in part, will ensure that the project is developed in a responsible and sustainable manner in line with the regulation in Nigeria as well as international standard and framework. No, this is sophistry. The country's statute and global best practice do not uphold putting the cart before the horse in the award of a contract, as the ministry's letters exemplify. The ESIA precedes any contract. How the project will be financed is still mired in obfuscation. On 23rd September 2023, Umahi disclosed that High-Tech, the construction company for the work, will fund the project precisely under the Public-Private Partnership (PPP) scheme. However, in a vote faced recently, he said that the government will provide 50% counterpart funding in an engineering, procurement, construction plus finance EPC plus F model. This fiscal decision is not cast on stone yet, as he revealed that the discussions were ongoing for a possible reduction to 30% of the government funding. It beats our imagination that the federal government will undertake the construction of this project at a time that the country finances are heading south, and in the face of the dilapidated state of thousands of kilometers of existing highway, which are death traps. It's not surprising that Nigeria is ranked 131 out of 141 countries by the globaleconomy.com on the quality of its roads. However, the Muhammadu Buhari regime admirably embarked on their reconstruction instead of building new ones, but many are not yet completed. A judicious utilization of resources demands that this vital road network spread across the 6 geopolitical zones be completed first. In the north, the Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway only scaled through the first phase of reconstruction under the last administration. The Abuja-Lokoja Highway has not been completed. With its huge landmarks, the northern region has more of such decrepit road infrastructure. The East-West Road, a coastal road network in the south-south, has been a work in progress through 4 administrations since 2005 when Olusegun Obasanjo regime initiated it. East Calabar Oron End and Final Strait has not been touched. A Senate Committee on Works chaired by Abdul Ningi on a fact-finding tour in September 2003 turned in an unsavory verdict. We have traversed the East-West Road from Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom and now Cross River. It is disturbing what we have found on the course of this assignment. A failed section of the road in Eleme, Rivers State, precipitated a fuel tanker fire late last month that burnt 120 vehicles and killed 5 persons. On the Calabar-Itu Road, Nengi's committee spent 6 hours on a journey which ordinarily should take 1 hour, and the senator decried. I have never seen and experienced what we saw on that road anywhere. Thousands of trucks stuck in traffic with little or no motion. The Benin-Sapele Highway and the Benin-Auchi-Okene-Lokoja Road remain a nightmare for motorists who perennially block them in protest. The Benin-Sagamu Expressway rehabilitation started by the Jonathan administration is still unfinished work. The Lagos-Badagry Semi-Highway, whose Lagos end will increase from 4 to 10 lanes, is begging for completion. In the southeast, reconstruction work on the Enugu-Port Harcourt Highway stopped at the Aba end due to the lack of funds as the Buhari presidency wind up. The dual carriage work on the Owerri-Aba road has been suspended. This uncompleted project, among others, left a 6 trillion debt hangover for Tinubu. The 300 billion naira 2023 supplementary budget the government provided to address this challenge does not scratch the surface at all. The Tinubu regime should be shrewd in deploying public resources. A road project that will take 8 years to complete offers no solution to the urgency of now. If the economy had been buoyant, the borrowing binge of the immediate past regime would not have been a policy trajectory to embrace so soon. As part of the government 2024 borrowing plan, the Senate in December last year approved $7.8 billion and 100 million euros. The NNPC Limited has facilitated a $3.3 billion loan from Afrimex Bank under a 5-year tenure at an 11.85% interest rate, which will be repaid through a crude oil swap, whose value has been seriously questioned by critics. There are also 2 other loans from the World Bank. The first, a $2 billion facility secured to mitigate the hardship of fuel subsidy removal, and a more recent $2.25 billion, one that the Minister of Finance, Wale Redun, announced after his Washington trip. The African Development Bank too has offered the government $1 billion in credit. These funds should not be filtered away on white elephants and projects that will not positively impact the economy in the short and medium terms. The country's education and health sectors are in absolute shambles, resulting in a recurrent crisis. There isn't a single world-class healthcare facility in Nigeria. Our teaching hospitals are relics of the last century, while our universities remain underfunded, denied of the 220 billion annual revitalization funds in demand since 2009 to make them functional and ideal citadels of research and innovation. Nigerians are presently being ravaged by fuel scarcity as the federal government is unable to pay oil marketers the 200 billion naira outstanding bridging claims owed them. Our seaports cannot compete with the best in Africa, which before now led to the loss of $7 billion annually to the Cotonou and Ghana seaports, while the international airports are a laughing stock in comparison with their peers offshore. Nigeria's crude oil production has fallen to 1.23 million barrels per day, according to OPEC record in March. We urgently require strategic thinking on how to improve public finance. Nigeria's revenue has plummeted, creating a foreign exchange shortfall with its crippling effect on the naira. As at a time in which the economy is bleeding profusely, there must be better areas to plow our little resources into, not coastal roads. In fact, the over 77 trillion debt and 90% of the total revenue to service it, alongside the criminal negligence of our roads, are sufficient red flags against this superhighway now. The government of President Bola Tinubu may not watch this video, but you are watching this video. After watching this video, I encourage you to lend your voice, because what they are about to embark will mortgage your future. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.